It's good to see you. Thank you, Chris, for leading us in the prayer and the praise. Dude, you ready? We need some power. Okay, can you read this title out loud? 1, 2, 3.
Stop judging one another.
Louder, please.
Stop judging one another.
Today I'm going to preach from a passage from Romans chapter 14, verse 1 to Romans chapter 15, verse 7. If you have a Bible, can you please find your Bible to Romans chapter 14? If you don't have, use your cell phone. Okay. Okay. What do you see here? Two people, a cup. Two people, a cup. A cup, a vessel. A cup and two faces. How many of you have seen this picture before? Almost a tenth of you, right? And next. What do you see here?
Rambo.
Rambo? Okay. What do you see?
It's a woman.
Woman.
And an eagle.
Do you see an old lady?
Yeah.
How many of you see an old lady?
Young lady.
Oh, you thinking young lady? Okay. Young lady.
Young lady.
Oh. Okay, you see an old lady. If you see, the nose there, the eye, the mouth, the lips, right? But if you imagine a young lady is turning her face, yes, you see the half of her face only, right? So it could be both, right? Do you agree?
Yes.
So it is what we call perception. Perception depends on how you see, and which angle you look at it. Next, please. Whoa, what is it? Titanic? No. How many of you see an iceberg? How many of you? Obviously, it is an iceberg, right? But indeed, actually, what you see, an iceberg, you only see maybe 10 to at most 20% of it. Because there are a lot of things, the most part of the iceberg is underwater that you can see normal. Okay, next please. What do you see here? Two monkeys hitting one another, hitting each other. This monkey said, I did not slap. Oh, this monkey said, I did not slap you. But this monkey is hitting back. But this monkey is saying, that monkey is saying, I high five your face. But this monkey perceived that he was controlled, bullied. But indeed, they are looking things differently, just like each one of us. Today I'm going to preach on a title which called Stop Judging One Another. I'm not saying that you judge one another. I hope it never happened here. But according to Romans chapter 14, there are a lot of people judging one another in the Church of Rome because they see things differently. They look at things from different angles. First of all, if we want to understand this chapter or this passage, what is Paul trying to say to us? The book of Romans is the book that Paul wrote to the Church of Rome. There were Gentiles like us. Why do we call Gentiles? Because we are not Jews. Okay, we are not Jews. We are not Samaritans. Samaritans are not Gentiles by definition. But we, no matter where you're from, if you are not Jews, if you are not Samaritans, you are Gentiles, like me. There are a lot of Gentiles in the Church of Rome, and there are a lot of Jewish Christians in the Church of Rome. The theme of the book is God's righteousness. What God's righteousness is? God's judgment. And God's judgment and God's wrath can only be satisfied by divine payment, which all we should know by this time. Salvation. The sacrifice of Jesus Christ on the cross. The crucifixion that he had on the cross. And the historical background of this passage is that there were two types of people in the church. When we look at the book of Romans, chapter 14, verses 1 to 2, it says, "Accept him whose faith is weak, without passing judgment on disputable matters. One man's faith allows him to eat everything, but another man whose faith is weak eats only vegetables." Do we have any issues about eating vegetables only, being vegetarian or meat eater? Do we have any issue about eating meat? No. How many of you do not eat meat? All of you eat meat, so we don't have any issue, we don't have any argument. But the historical background of this passage is there are a lot of traditional Jewish Christians. They believe that they cannot eat meat because the meat in their society, in their community, were used in idol worship. That makes us understand more, right? The meat they bought in the market were usually used in idol worship. So the people with strong faith believe that they can eat everything because Jesus has already paid the cost. He has already died on the cross, and nothing else can shake their faith. But the people who has weaker faith, they're afraid of the idol, and they thought they shouldn't eat any meat that is used in idol worship. So there are two types of people: one with stronger faith and one weaker faith. The people strong in faith believe they can eat meat and they do not have to observe the important days that were observed in the Old Testament, like the Day of Atonement. What is the Day of Atonement? Yom Kippur. How many of you have heard the name Yom Kippur? That's the Day of Atonement. That's the Israelite. The high priest can only go into the Holy of Holies once a year in the time to pray to God, to have a fellowship with God once a year on behalf of the people to confess the sin, which is very important. And they believe they do not have to observe Sabbath, the 7th day of a week anymore, because the Lord Jesus has already paid the cost Christians are all saved by grace and grace only. So they don't care about any other important days of the Jewish calendars. We may easily understand the important days. So in the New Testament, how many of you observe Yom Kippur? No, we observe Christmas, we observe Easter, we observe Good Friday, right? They are the important days in Christian calendar, not Yom Kippur. But the people with weaker faith believe that they should continue to observe those important days. So they do not eat meat. They believe meat has to be handled properly before it is eaten. So we have what we call the Jewish food. Kosher. You call it kosher. But do you know what it means, kosher? What it means by kosher? Kosher means fit or appropriate, fit for consumption, appropriate for consumption, as eating. They are ready, they are appropriate for to be eaten. So we call them kosher. So those who have weaker faith are shaken if he or she knowingly ate meat had been used in idol worship. But those who have strong faith believe that since they are in Christ, idols has no real power. If you are in Christ, idols really have no power in your life. No real power to do anything that they should not worry too much about eating meat that has been used in idol worship previously. Do you agree? Yeah. There are those who have strong faith and those who have weaker faith. Do we have your sermon notes? I'll give you on the second point here. As we saw the pictures before, we look at things differently. Right? Some people see the young lady, some people see the old lady, some people see the vase, some people see the cup, some people see two faces. Here, Paul says that do not pass judgment on what disputable matters. What is disputable matters? Do we argue whether Christ is the Son of God? Do we argue whether Christ died on the cross and we are saved by that atonement, that sacrifice? We don't argue. We don't need to argue that, right? Because it is truth. Because we all know that from the Bible, if you are a Bible believer, you believe that Christ has already died on the cross and his atonement on the cross is sufficient enough for us to be saved. This is the truth. We don't argue that. But disputable matters means the things that is not, that God's law and truth is not involved, like eating meat or not. It's really your personal opinion. So in the church, we should not argue about personal opinion because what? Because of what? Because we see things differently. So do not pass what? Judgment on disputable matters. We see things, the black, differently. The part one sees may not be the whole picture sometimes or often. Do you agree? You see the iceberg. You only see 10 to 20% of the iceberg, but you don't see the whole picture. You see the whole picture because I showed it to you. But if you really, on a ship, look at the iceberg, you only see 10 to 20% of the iceberg. but the rest you probably won't be able to see. And do not pass judgment on disputable matters, because the second point, the second reason, we all have preference of choice. Definition of taste in economics. I studied economics before, and the definition of taste, sometimes we call people have bad taste. What is taste in economics? Taste means preference of choice. So if you know economics, you shouldn't say some people have bad choice. Bad taste. It is his or her preference of choice only, right? We have no right. We have no right to say that it is good or bad. He thinks, she thinks it is good. It is good for him. It is good for her. Sean, you play basketball. I can't say that, oh, don't play basketball. Play volleyball. Volleyball is better. It is very offensive, right? Very offensive, right? Because he is good in basketball. He plays basketball. But don't have me to play with you, okay? Don't ask me to play with you. So it is all preference of choice, whether you eat meat or not, whether you observe the days or not. It is your personal opinion. Paul tells the church of Rome not to argue on those things, not to pass judgment on those things. Why? Verse 4 says, can you read it with me together? Who are you to judge someone else's servant? To his own master he stands or falls, and he will stand for the Lord. For the Lord is able to make him stand. Who are we? We are not in a position to judge God's servants. Anyone in the church, we have no right, no position to judge one another because of different choices, because of different tastes, different backgrounds. As Associate Minister Emily said before, we are from different walk of life. I may be double of your age for most of you. But I can still say that whatever I tell you is always better than what you think is right. Because you have your mind, you have your knowledge. The knowledge, the technology you know, I probably don't know. Isn't it right? So even if I'm older than you, I will not pass judgment on you, and telling you that whatever you are doing is wrong. If it is not in war, if it is not against the Bible. You with me? That as a minister, as Pastor Kenny, pastor, if we see something, obviously wrong and against the Bible, we have the responsibility to tell our brothers and sisters, to encourage our brothers and sisters to do the right things. Isn't it true? So we should not pass judgment on God's servants, including every one of you who has already accepted Christ. It is God who judges us. It is God. Only God has the right, has the knowledge, has the ability, has the position to judge us. Continue. So, we should not judge one another because God is the only God, only Lord in our lives. your brothers and sisters next to you cannot judge you because of different choices, because they think what they're thinking is better than what you are thinking. You with me? Verse 13, Paul says, therefore let us stop passing judgment on one another. Instead, make up your mind not to put any stumbling block or obstacle in your brother's way. Point number 3, do not become a stumbling block. What is a stumbling block? Have you ever been stumbled by a rock before? When you are very young, and like my son and daughter, they are 3 years old. Sometimes they stumble themselves by walking. Sometimes, okay. Stumbling block is a rock that stumbles you. What it means by stumbling block in the Bible is that the things or the people that make others sins. That makes others sin because of your freedom. So do not make others sin because of your freedom. Paul says that you have the freedom to eat meat or not to eat meat. You have the freedom of observing the important Jewish days or not observing the Jewish days. It is what we call freedom. Say freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom. We should not make other people sin because of our freedom. Let me take an example. Give you an example. How many of you drink wine? Okay. You guys shouldn't drink wine because the legal age of drinking wine is 21, right? But how many of you are older than 21? Okay, you drink. How many of you drink wine? No, I'm not saying every day. Sometimes you drink wine. Okay. I want to ask you, do you believe I drink wine? Oh my. How many of you think that I drink wine? Okay. How many of you think that I don't drink wine? Okay, I'm going to disappoint you. I drink wine sometimes, really. But I don't drink wine with my brothers and sisters in the church. I only drink wine in my home with my family because whenever I drink wine, my face turns red. And a lot of people would think that I got drunk. A minister got drunk. A Christian should not get drunk according to what we see. Especially for a minister who got red face. He is drunk. That I will become a stumbling block to you. When this minister drink wine, I should even drink more, or I should not believe in Christianity because this minister is not a good example. Even he himself got drunk. Right? If I drink wine and my face turns red in front of you, and you perceive that I got drunk, I become a stumbling block to you. And how many of you play mahjong? Wow. Or play cards? Of course, right? We're people living in 21st century. I do play cards and sometimes, but I don't gamble. I don't play money with my family. I just want to train them, especially the senior citizens. My parents-in-law, they need some training sometimes. When I am free, let's say once a year, maybe, or less than once a year. I do play mahjong with them, and to train their brain. But I don't, especially in Chinese banquet. Here is much better in New York, but in Hong Kong, a lot of people when they have wedding banquet, they have mahjong playing for a couple of hours before the banquet. If the minister play mahjong with them, playing money with them at that gamble that time, what would you think? I would become a stumbling block. So I choose not to do it, even not, playing money. I don't play mahjong in a public. Not that I want to be a hypocrite, but I want to protect other people's faith. I don't want them to be stumbled, right? So Paul says that do not become a stumbling block. You have your own freedom to eat. You have your own freedom not to eat, but do not let yourself become a stumbling block that make other people see. You with me? The fourth point, keep the unity by accepting one another. Chapter 15, verse 7, it says, accept one another, and just as Christ accepted you in order to bring praise to God. Why we need unity? Why do we need unity? The purpose of unity, there are twofold of purposes. One is build up one another. If we are not united, we cannot build up each other. It's very easy to understand that. If we are tearing apart each other, you put the person next to you down, will put you down. Are you guys building up each other? Obviously not, right? If we do not accept one another, but putting down one another, we are hurting. We are destroying one another. But when we are united and accepting one another, we are building one another. But there's one condition in the truth. You cannot say, if you see someone is sinning, keep sinning, because I want unity. I don't want to tell him the truth or her the truth so that he may correct or he may be offended. You with me? If I see somebody is sinning, my brothers and sisters, including every one of you, I need to confront you in love. In love. I should not keep you sinning and tell you and thinking, this unity is the most important thing in the world. If we don't have truth, we don't uphold truth, we will never have unity. Agree? Let me give you an example. How many of you complain the city by setting up traffic lights? By setting up properly working traffic lights? How many? Would you complain the city by setting up traffic lights that works properly? No. Why not? You need to wait for the light. It's waste of time. Isn't it waste of time for waiting the light, traffic light? How many of you think so? No. Why not? Because it is the rule. It keeps everyone safe. It protects everyone. Why we would say that God is wrong, God is unreasonable by giving us rules, by giving us laws. by giving us. I'm not saying that Christianity tells you a lot of do's or don't do, but there are rules, truth in the Bible that we have to uphold. Otherwise, the world will become chaotic, and the world is now so chaotic because people do not follow God's truth. Amen? The world is so chaotic because people do whatever they think is right. And if we don't have traffic light, traffic will be a mess. We will not be able to come to church. We say that, oh God, if you love me, give me more freedom. Would you say that? Would you think that? God, if you love me, give me more freedom. Give me unlimited freedom. Ask the parents here. Ask the parents. Do they give unlimited freedom to their children? I don't. I don't. Because they don't know what's right and what's wrong. Because I'm wiser than them still, they're 4 years old. They're less than 4 years old. So why would we say that? Why should we say that God is not loving by giving us boundary? The boundary is good for us. The boundary that parents give to their children is good for them to avoid getting hurt and affecting other people. Same way, God gives us truth to uphold so that we may live in order. We may build up one another. Why should we think that God, if God set some boundary for us, we should thank God for boundary? Amen. We should give thanks to God for giving us more. Amen? Otherwise, it will be much more chaotic now. So keep the unity by accepting one another and upholding the truth that will edify one another, and all these things is for the glory of God. So edify one another and glorify God. Conclusion. Let us read the conclusion together. Do you have both this line in your bulletin? You ready? 1, 2, 3. In essentials, unity. In non-essentials, liberty. In all things, charity. This is said by someone, I quoted from someone. We don't know the origin already, but it is true. In essentials, unity. In non-essentials, liberty. Give your brothers and sisters, give your friends next to you freedom, respect and choice. Don't pass judgment on each other, and in all things, live with love. Love one another, so that we may build up one another. Amen? Let's bow down our head and pray together. Father Lord God, we give thanks to you for your words, for your most precious word from the Bible. Lord God, we know that we are in a loving body because Jesus Christ has already given us the unlimited, the unconditional, and the sacrificial love that we see on the cross. And Jesus built his church up with that unconditional and sacrificial love. Father Lord God, give us the heart, give us the spirit of unity, And let us continue to learn the truth so that we may live in unity and in truth, so that each one of us may be edified, may be built up, and your name may be glorified. Father Lord God, I pray for my brothers and sisters in New Life Now. Pray that you will continue to open their minds. For those who are seeking you, Lord, Father Lord God, nothing is more important, nothing is better than being a disciple. I pray that you continue to open their hearts to see the truth, that you love them so much, that you sent your only begotten Son to die for each one of us on the cross. Pray that you will continue to grow each one of us spiritually, intellectually, so that we may glorify you and give you all the glory that due to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.